this love I got for you could take me around the world. Now show me love. Show me love. Show me life. Baby, show me what it's all about. You're the one that I ever needed. Show me love and what it's all about. Alright, don't waste this love I wanna give to you. No, tell me what you got, show me what you can do. Yeah, show me love, show me everything. I know you got potential, so baby, let me in and show me love. Show me love. Yeah, yeah. Show me love. Like, baby, show me what it's all about. You're the one that I ever needed. Show me love and what it's all about. Alright, I love you, I miss you. I'll make sure everything will be alright. I'm giving you my heart if you just give me love every night. Yeah. Show me life. Hey, baby, show me what it's all about, baby. You're the one that I ever needed. Show me love and what it's all about. Show me love. Oh yeah. Show me love. Baby, show me what it's all about. You're the one that I ever needed. Show me love and what it's all about. All right.
And as you do, of course, Andrea, as you do, from Sweden to the mighty Nile River.
In seconds.
Normal for a program of this kind.
And here's another great theme. This combines two of the themes, it seems to me, of the Millennium event. One being music, of course, there's more music coming up, but also water appears a lot, including in Australia, of course.
You're right.
And this is a wonderful boat celebration and parade on the Nile. And in Cairo, it's the event of the year because, of course, the Nile has great history and religious significance in Egypt. So.
Well, it's a symbol of so much, isn't it? Civilization, almost.
It is.
Agriculture. If the Nile didn't flood, there would be no Egypt.
And I have to say again that it's actually here in Egypt, of course, where many of the great artefacts and artworks of, I can't say the last millennium now, I have to say the millennium before last, around, you know, in the 700s and 800s were actually made and buried and built, and mainly to gods and pharaohs. But it's a very appropriate place to be going on the dawn of the new millennium.
We're in Egypt at the moment, the pictures that you're seeing, the Nile River and the performance there. I was just saying to Andrea that the music again, we're repeating the word music, and water, of course, as Andrea said. But I was wondering what you think, Andrea, with your expertise. Percussion seems to be now a universal thing. The thing that makes people able to listen enjoyably to music from wherever it comes is that there's percussion now in almost every piece of music from any country that you name.
And our ears are used to it, and it's almost, yes, it goes across boundaries, doesn't it? That is something that's happened to music. I think more interestingly, though, in a way, is the way globalisation in the music world has made us like bowerbirds. Improvisation is very popular again. And now you can have a piece of music that it incorporates Indian, tabla, African drumming, music from the Nile, if you like.
Well, this is the world music thing,
World music.
Yeah.
And really, in Australia, an enormous number of young musicians, even classically trained, are calling on music from all over the world. And this would be a piece of music that we're listening to right now in Cairo. I think that would be recognisable to most of the world, whereas, of course, a millennium ago, if you like, you would know
I remember it well.
Yes, that's right. It was only yesterday, wasn't it?
By the way, you were talking about Australia's contribution. The didgeridoo is an instrument that you're now hearing in well and truly outside Australia. The Europeans, for instance, love the didgeridoo.
Yeah. I wonder if they realised that it was originally made, in fact, well, traditionally for centuries, from tree trunks or small narrower branches that were actually eaten out naturally by termites.
Yeah.
Whereas now, of course, a lot of the didges that you see in Europe would be, crafted by human hands.
If you're wondering why we're talking about the didgeridoo while we're looking at pictures from Egypt, it's because we thought to.
سارح سرى الليل يا عاشق هنا الليل يا طاير طول الليل.
Writing pop music is different. But I haven't done that for many years now. A hymn for the millennium, based on the Swedish folk music tradition. I felt when I was doing that I was at home. It's my home country. A bit cold in the winter. Winters are too long, but otherwise it's a perfect country to live in.
And now we're going to Ireland for some Celtic music. Our friends from the 68 country consortium have gathered together some of the most respected musicians from various Celtic regions of the world for a performance of a new piece of music especially commissioned for 2000 today. And it's the huge outdoor concert that you'll see, you're seeing now in fact, is in Merrion Square in the Georgian heart of Dublin, downtown Dublin.
de la peine pour élever les enfants. Elle aura bien de la peine car je m'en vais pour longtemps. Je viendrai à la nuit noire tant que la guerre durera. Comme les femmes en noir, triste et seule, elle m'attendra. La voilà la blanche Hermine, vive la mouette et la joue. La voilà la blanche Hermine, vive les fougères et frissons. Sans doute pense-t-elle que je suis en déraison de la voir, mon cœur se serre là-bas devant la maison. Et si je meurs à la guerre, pourra-t-elle me pardonner d'avoir préféré ma terre à l'amour qu'elle me donnait? La voilà la blanche Hermine, vive la mouette et la joue. La voilà la blanche Hermine, vive fougère et frisson. La voilà la blanche Hermine, vive la mouette et la joue.
This is Celtic music from, it's been performed in Dublin, but it's from various parts of the world. And of course, if my memory serves me correctly, fading as it is at almost 7 in the morning, the Celtic strip actually goes across the English Channel, or the Channel, to Breton in northwestern France. And that wasn't Gaelic that we're hearing from that singer. So the Celtic music that we associate so strongly, particularly with Ireland and Scotland and Wales, is in fact a European sound as well, Andrea.
There's a number of musicians in this particular piece who are from Breton, and there's also this Shetland fiddle player.
Yeah.
So it's a terrific variety of Celtic.
Actually, now that you've reminded me, we do have some research notes. That vocal performance was from a Breton singer, Gilles Sevat, backed by Coolfin, an Irish band. Wonderful.
The things that make this place a paradise for me is the clean air, the fresh water, the beautiful free environment, wonderful place to bring up kids, and just none of the pollution of the city. I first had the idea of a radio station in this community about 5 years ago, and I couldn't really get enough people to sort of share the vision to see it all happen at that time, and it was only after the Port Arthur tragedy that really enough people could see the point.
Nice to have you back in the studio for Cocky's Corner.
Good, thanks a lot, Hugh.
The radio station's only been going for a little while, and already it's sort of lifted the lid off this community, and it's got people talking about the community again in a way that wouldn't have been possible without it, I think.
Fishermen are having a good time at the moment.
That's right.
Good waters for the fishermen.
A bit over 3 years ago when things happened here, the community opened up their arms to me, and that was when I started to become involved in the community. And from there on, the community has looked after me and taken me to heart.
I don't think there's any class distinction at all. I think the highest, the policeman, the school teacher, the highest and the lowest are all one person, and that's what I like about this community.
Well, as you can see here,
the spirit in the community and the people that make it up is the thing. A town like this is only as good as the people that live in it.
I think one of the best things this community has to offer is the ability to draw together in a really purposeful way when it has to. I think one of the great things is generosity of people to each other, the pleasure of finding eggs and vegetables and buckets of fish on the back step. One thing I think that the peninsula has to offer in the new millennium is an increased concentration on its extraordinary history. So much more remains to be discovered.
The new millennium is an exciting time to be in this small community, because really it's like a flower waiting to open, and I think that the time and the energy is right for that to happen.
And now we're in Spain, in Tarcesos, in Andalusia. It's a region which has got veins of Jewish, Muslim, Christian and Gypsy blood, we're told. Flamenco music and flamenco dancing, in fact, are the result of this very special mixture. And what you're hearing, if the translation is anywhere near correct, is that we, the Andalusians, want to project their echoes with strength in order to thrill the men and women of the new millennium. Spain, and couldn't be anywhere else.
Cuando sube el los andaluces
conmemorado y caminemos al futuro como pueblo y conmemorado. Que mira tú si es verdad, que mira tú si es verdad, que caí siempre soplado con vientos de libertad.
Andalucía, ay, de lucha y sin sabores, y de esperanza prima, y de esperanza, pintadas de colores, ay, verde y blanca, verde y blanca. Me llama, ay, me llama, el susto cuando sale, entró por mi ventana y se acuesta en mi cama.
De doble de campana, campanero, porque no doblan la campana. De doble de campana, ya que llegara la reina, llega una probadita. Que llegara la reina, llega una probadita.
Mucha historia vivía, hay mucha historia vivía, en un baile bien marcado, nunca te volvería. En un baile bien marcado, nunca te volvería.
Es que los hombres primos míos de mi arma y no le temen a la ley. Le temen a la ley, no le temen a la ley, porque los hombres caballeros tienen palabra de rey. Porque los hombres caballeros tienen palabra de rey.
Que vamos a cantar, que vamos a cantar. ¡Ale, buena! Que vamos a cantar, porque la gente puede pensar que en un mundo más humano ya hay un Dios de libertad, 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 libertad.
Qué bárbaro, el arte flamenco también presente en la fiesta del Milenio. Vamos viajando a Hungría. Las primeras imágenes que vamos a ver son del edificio del Parlamento en Hungría y la plaza. Ahí también se van a hacer los festejos de este fin de año. Más de aproximadamente 2.000 chicos entre 9 y 14 años van a estar cantando y bailando frente al Arca del Tiempo, la Hoguera del Tiempo y la Rueda del Tiempo.
adjon Isten füvet, fát, tele pincét, kamarát, sok örömet a házba, boldogságot hazánkba.
En el próximo bloque vamos a estar desde Venezuela para ver qué pasa en Latinoamérica con el nuevo milenio.
Nací en 1897 y jamás imaginé que iba a llegar este día. Por eso le dije a mi familia que este año nuevo la cena la preparaba yo. Ellos creen que soy muy viejita, pero yo me las puedo arreglar sola. Bueno, no tan sola. Ahora los tengo a todos juntos. A mis hijos, a mis nietos, a mis bisnietos, hasta mis tataranietos. y les voy a poder decir algo que estuve esperando durante mucho tiempo.
¿Y qué se siente ser del siglo pasado? ¿Mm?
Los Altos, para que en el nuevo milenio sigas encontrando todo lo que buscas.
Seis horas, 53 minutos y algunos segundos para que llegue el nuevo año, el año 2000, y vamos a viajar a Venezuela, al corazón de la selva amazónica, donde la Orquesta Sinfónica Nacional de Niños va a interpretar música folclórica, tradicionales y, por supuesto, hecha por cantantes folclóricos como Simón Díaz y mucha gente más. Es la primera vez en la historia que se va a transmitir en vivo desde esta remota región de Venezuela. Por eso vamos a viajar inmediatamente a Venezuela para ver cómo comienza esta transmisión. Adelante. Estas cataratas son las más altas del mundo y, como les decía antes, es la primera vez que se va a transmitir desde este lugar, y como telón de fondo los intérpretes van a tener una formación de tepuis, que son montañas amesetadas. Es algo que realmente va a sorprender a muchos, lugares donde nunca antes había llegado una transmisión en vivo y en directo, y ahora, gracias a esta transmisión en vivo y en directo, por supuesto, para el Millennium Day, usted lo va a poder disfrutar. Ahí está.
Aquí nació este planeta y tal vez el universo. Aquí nace la ilusión dentro de mi corazón, esperando un nuevo tiempo. Mañana cuando amanezca tendremos nuevo milenio. Al otro le dije adiós y él también se despidió, pero sin remordimiento. Y está llegando el futuro, lo veo llegando a lo lejos. Lo puedo reconocer, aunque se quiere esconder, porque soy caballo viejo.
Bienvenido, don Futuro. Es un placer conocerlo. Ya me han hablado de usted y aquí estoy a su merced. Permítame a mí atenderlo. En unas horas apenas estará cambiando el tiempo. Cambiarán los calendarios, las agendas y los diarios, pero no los sentimientos.
No cambiará la llanura, ni tampoco los esteros. No cambiarán los caudales de los ríos ni los mares, no se detendrán los vientos. Porque ese cambio, sobrino, nos ocurrirá por dentro. Aumentará la confianza, el amor y la esperanza de paz para el mundo entero. Mañana cuando amanezca tendremos nuevo milenio. Al otro le dije adiós y él también se despidió, pero sin remordimientos. Y está llegando el futuro, lo veo llegando a lo lejos. Lo puedo reconocer, aunque se quiere esconder, porque soy caballo viejo.
Bienvenido, don Futuro. Es un placer conocerlo. Ya me han hablado de usted y aquí estoy a su merced. Permítame a mí atenderlo. En unas horas apenas estará
cambiará la llanura, ni tampoco los esteros. No cambiarán los caudales de los ríos ni los mares, no se detendrán los vientos. Porque este cambio, sobrino, nos ocurrirá por dentro. Aumentará la confianza, el amor y la esperanza de paz para el mundo entero. Para toda la nación, también para el mundo entero, los niños de Venezuela cantan al nuevo milenio, al nuevo milenio. Para toda la nación, también para el mundo entero, los niños de Venezuela cantan al nuevo milenio, al nuevo milenio. Aquí le traigo un milenio, se lo entrego salvo y sano. Cumpla con este convenio, use su amor y su ingenio para que crezca en sus manos. En carrera de relevo, cada quien corre su tramo. Pago siempre lo que debo y ahora le toca a los nuevos con su esfuerzo mejorarlo.
Nada tiene que temer, téngalo usted por seguro. Todos los venezolanos lucharemos mano a mano por un hermoso futuro. Desde esta tierra nativa, los niños de Venezuela, seguimos con sentimiento, con la libertad al viento, el ejemplo de Bolívar.
Mañana cuando amanezca tendremos nuevo milenio. Al otro le dije adiós y él también se despidió, pero sin remordimiento. Para toda la nación, también para el mundo entero, los niños de Venezuela cantan al nuevo milenio, al nuevo milenio. Para toda la nación, también para el mundo entero, los niños de Venezuela cantan al nuevo milenio.
Y estamos viendo imágenes desde Venezuela y paradójicamente esta gente está cantando cerca de las cataratas. Venezuela viene de sufrir muchísimo por las inundaciones y les mandamos nuestros saludos y nuestro apoyo para que mejore su situación. Y ahora sí viajamos rápidamente a Praga, Checoslovaquia, donde vamos a escuchar una de las canciones más famosas del mundo, Polka del barril de cerveza, o también llamada Rosamunda. Su título original fue Skoda Lasky, que quiere decir qué desperdicio de amor. Esta canción se hizo famosa en la Segunda Guerra Mundial, increíblemente famosa en los dos frentes. Y en toda esta plaza, bandas militares harán sonar esta canción.
have the barrel of fun. Roll on the barrel, I tell you, we've got the blues on the Ramadan. Roll it on, roll it on, roll it on the barrel. Sing the song of the chief, cause the whole gang is here. Roll it up, roll it down, and to the barrel roll down.
Coming up in a tick, on today, 2000 Today, we're going to Canada, where a young Inuit girl will be delivering a message to the world in Inuktitut, their native language. You don't often get to hear Inuktitut spoken in Australia, so all you non-Inuktitut speakers, enjoy the sound and don't get too confused. She's basically saying, we're told, hello to the new millennium, that she's Inuit and her land is called Nunavut, which means our land, giving greetings and best wishes to the world, but especially at the end she says hello to the people at Uluru in Australia. So it's the newest nation on earth saying hello to the oldest. And speaking of Uluru, dawn is approaching there as we speak, approaching the rock, and we're going to be seeing shortly Millennium Birth, choreographed by Jasmine Goulash. A piece which fuses traditional and contemporary movement is performed by the dancers from the multi-award-winning Bangarra Dance Company, You Little Beauty. They perform to the music of Endorphin, something called Relapse, and the music is also a mix of traditional and contemporary sounds, which we're hearing more and more of. But first to Canada and their Indigenous people. It's a fascinating concept to have in the one segment almost.
Well, it's wonderful.
The oldest and newest.
Yes, I don't know if you recall Festival of the Dreaming, which was held in Sydney a couple of years ago, the first of the Olympic Arts Festivals, which was a bringing together of Indigenous cultures from all around the world, including from Canada.
Yes.
And this was a recognition that what connects people really is that Indigenous, the experience of being first inhabitants.
Yeah, dare I sort of degenerate into a political journalist at a point like this, but the Inuits are a nation within a nation, which is a status that you can rightfully achieve in the world these days. And I've often wondered whether we shouldn't be thinking that way about the Aboriginal people of Australia. I mean, it's an interesting concept. You think about it, nation within a nation. I've never really heard it discussed much in this country, but it is officially a legal, internationally acceptable way of describing a group of people. The Gypsies in Spain, for instance, Felipe González made them a nation within a nation. And the Inuits are a nation within a... They're independent, but they're a nation within a nation, which means that in some areas they will remain dependent on Canada.
I think, though, that reconciliation has to come first, or else a process like that
no
causes
doubt.
separation rather than a
No
dignified kind of...
Are you suggesting reconciliation hasn't happened? Surprise, surprise.
But listen, this Bangarra Dance Company, what a lot it's done for us. It's only been there 10 years. I feel like it's been there for decades in our culture, and people all around the world have been introduced to Aboriginal culture.
Looking forward to it.
Especially Jakapura,
Looking forward to it. Let's go to Canada
leader.
right now, though, Andrew.
Arrivé,